My name is Jay-Z. I design enterprise B2B marketing software in New York. Today I'm here to teach you about card-based UI. You've seen cards on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, and Google. I received a lot of emails about cards and UX meetups last summer in New York, and I deleted them all. It wasn't until I started designing our big data product and ran into problems that cards became a lifesaver. They're not a fad, they're not a passing trend or hype, and today I'm going to teach you why. Let's start with the analog version of cards that we all know and love, poker cards, baseball cards, that you can stack and shuffle without scuffle. They're fun to play with because you can compare information, you can turn them over, and you can reorganize them and sort them in different ways. So let's hold on to those ideas while we talk about the digital incarnation of cards. There are 4 reasons that cards are useful. Cards are useful, 1, because cards stack responsively. 2, cards make data lovable. 3, cards delight users. And 4, cards serve more content above the fold. 1, cards stack responsively. Now, in this analog fixed layout print magazine, you see that there is a queue area with some text. There are 4 men, and then there's more text. Now, on tablet, what if we broke and sliced up this image in terms of a card encapsulating the queue text, a card encapsulating the 4 guys, and a card encapsulating the rest of the text? Perhaps on tablet, this card would stack under the queue, and this card would stack under the men. And in that way, we've created a responsive layout. And that's what Pinterest does. Each card can restack under a column ahead of it. You'll also notice that there are 5 columns, and each card can be long or short, but they're a fixed width. And then the next card can stack right underneath without having to create empty spaces and then a new row. So in this way, cards preserved the aspect ratio and cards harmonized layout. In the tablet version, where did columns 4 and 5 go? Well, 4 went under 1 and 5 went under 2. So that you make that decision at the tablet breakpoint one time, and the system automates these layout decisions for you each time, regardless of the height of the image. Now, without cards, perhaps you would have to redesign the layout and make that decision every single time. My friend at MTV Digital laments, "We used to design things once. Now we design things 3 times, often more." Cards help you go back to designing things once. Now, if you're worried about what you're going to do with all that extra time, how about doing the second thing? Cards are useful because they make data lovable. Now, I've had product managers come into early exploratory research, super excited about this Excel spreadsheet of data points. And then I've had clients start to pick lint off of their blazer because tables are so boring for them. They don't want to understand the taxonomy. They don't care that initial acquisition is a different parameter than engagement. Tables repel people from data. Cards make people love data. I've had clients come in and go, "Oh my God, I suspected that email was contributing to ROI, but now I have proof. And now I'm going to share these cards with my social media manager, and he might share them with his peer, the e-commerce manager." So because cards make data digestible, scannable, and bite-sized, they're also shareable. And when cards are shareable, it means that data is lovable. And when data is lovable, it means that data is sellable. Product managers love it when your card design sells the product up to management and then across to their peers. This is how you position a product, not just a one-off, but as an organizational platform. And when product managers email your boss and their own boss and say, take a look at this, that's when you know that cards and design have led incremental value for the business. Well, there's more. Cards delight users. Cards are useful because they personalize information, which is the antithesis of spam. Now, personalization is not a nice to have. Here's a book that you bought and some other books that people similar to you bought. Personalization is important because it kind of weeds down these 4 cards. Maybe it allows you to just serve the top card. Because in this email, I will read the same email that you get. However, when I worked at Sailthrough, we designed emails that are personalized to you. So at the top of the fold, let's say these images are tagged with business formal clothing. And I get these images because in another email, I purchased a shirt the lead was generated by that email, and that shirt was also tagged formal. So my user record is updated with any interactions that I make with this email. And then your user record would be completely different. Maybe the shoe would be at the top because you purchased shoes from this vendor in the past. So in this way, Google Cards is also able to give you information that is personalized and reduces spam. Instead of Google bombarding you with 10 ads for restaurants and Google having unhappy advertisers buying ads that never get read, Google just knows that you've got a restaurant confirmation already and that it might serve you parking lot recommendations instead. And instead of you having to search for anything or input anything, Google just knows. Google knows that your GPS coordinates are circling the restaurant without stopping, and it'll give you some suggestions that actually will be helpful. When users say, "How did you know what I wanted?" Well, that's what we're all here to talk about today, isn't it? We're all here to talk about happiness. And when users say wanted, it means that this is information that makes them happy. This is information that they find desirable and perhaps satisfy some of their needs. And not just user needs, but also developer needs, because cards are something for everyone. They're front end, but in the back end, they're a challenging and scalable web component, API, app, and JSON file. Last, cards are useful because they serve more content above the fold. So instead of a blog with just 1 article, you can have a blog with at least 3 articles. And let's say each article is vastly different than the other, but you get to pull out some interesting things that can have a side-by-side comparison, image to image. Well, what about all of the rest of the vast information? There are only 3 lines here for the descriptor, but if in digital you put a ... or some kind of transition, you could click on this and the card will turn over and show all of that wealth of information. Or the card can expand to show all of that wealth of information. And then when you click back on the expanded drawer, it'll collapse only to the top. So let's recap. Cards are useful because they stack responsively, make data shareable, delight users, and serve more content. I hope you won't give up using this opportunity in any way, because it's a rare one where design is a change agent. Design can elevate the business from making things look pretty, to creating value for internal and external stakeholders. I hope you'll look at some of the amazing resources out there. And if you need my help speaking to your company or meetup to get the ball rolling, I'd love to hear from you.